welcome back to another episode of East County Voices. And we got Gavin, we got Nicole, we got Miss Patty. How is everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Considering everything well, and happy to see you all.
Aw.
Yeah.
I'm flawless.
There you go. Well, all right. So what do we got going on tonight, y'all?
We have a special guest. We're gonna hear from Zimbabwe Davies. As always, we like to use our voices, advocate, empower, and whenever there's anyone out there that we know of or that reaches out or wants to speak on work that they've done, things that they have to look forward to that's around advocacy, we're going to talk about it. And so I'm excited for today. Yeah, so we'll do some introductions, once our guest gets on. But pretty much, we're going to talk about the youth, because the youth is our future. The youth of today is our elderly of tomorrow, so we just got to keep, to just understand our future, and we don't want to shut out or minimize youth experiences. And so we're going to talk about that. And especially around some community struggles like school to prison pipeline, mass incarceration, youth financial hardships, maybe like financial college debt, maybe lack of financial literacy in our public school systems. What else? Community childhood trauma, healing, and we can, round robin it and talk about the different problems and then potential solutions that we are actively doing, or ideas, or just what let's talk about it. But as always, community updates, so I'll throw that over to someone else in our team, and what's going on, because Contra Costa County is still a beautiful county, so diverse of powerful people. So
True. I will, unfortunately, we have some updates that are not the best updates. We want to make sure that we keep our songbird, Tashina, in prayer, because she's still fighting, which is good. That's a good sign. So yeah, let's just make sure that we say a prayer for her every day, all day, every time you think of her. And then we also want to acknowledge Miss Crystal Berry, unfortunately passed away. That's pretty devastating and shocking to all of us. Our condolences go out to her family, to her colleagues, to her friends, to all the many, many students that she impacted. I just hate that I didn't make it to the school board meeting, like I'd spoken with her about, to let her know that I was going to let them know that it was not her that was on the line at all. She wasn't even in the office. So we just want to make that clear. And then again, we just want to, send out our heartfelt condolences to everybody, because again, it wasn't expected for us. And shocking to find out, that she passed away. And I thank the staff, Dr. Lindsay Wisely and Christina Barra. Like, I really, really appreciate them so much. So yeah, Antioch Unified School District lost a really great person. And then other than that, I did have my interview for Planning Commission last night. I haven't looked at the tape of it. I don't know how it went. I feel like some of the things I didn't answer right. I don't know. So we'll see.
Oh,
We'll know on the 3rd whether I got selected or not.
oh,
Hey, you know, the fact that you stepped up into that space and volunteered to be there to our community. There are so many commissions within a city or county organization, and the planning commission is one of them. And so thank you, Nicole, for just stepping up and throwing your name in the bag in these important decision-making spaces that not too many people know about. And can you tell us a little bit, like, what does the planning commission in a city generally do?
So here in the city of Pittsburgh, it has to do with actually like economic development of the city. So you could be tasked with, we want to build these homes, and should we do this type of thing, or should it be like this, or how should it be? Should it be multifamily? There's all these different things that go into it. Rezoning in the city, just businesses that come to the city, all kinds of different things that affect everyone in the city. Pretty much you are part of that decision-making process that goes to city council. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting.
Well, fingers crossed. Definitely that they'd be lucky to have you with your just well-rounded experience. Yeah, and we're lucky to have you here too.
Thank you.
And
it didn't interfere with the podcast, which is great because the meetings are on Tuesdays.
oh,
Not
perfect.
on
That's Taco Tuesday.
There you go. Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, so if anything ever comes up, we'll readjust. So we continue using our platform to amplify, empower, and embrace each other in our community. What else? What other updates do we have in our city? I know we're out of regulation. We're out of the regulation for the Police Oversight Commission. Since there's now 3 open seats, that means, hey, community, y'all can go and apply to be a Police Oversight Commission member.
Yeah.
And
Please do.
How many spots are open? Do we know?
I think I want to say, is it only 3 or is it 4?
For sure 3. It could be 4, but it's definitely 3 at least. And it's not a small task.
Oh yeah, it's 3. It is 3. It's 3.
3? Okay.
We fought for this.
Yeah, so we need to keep it going because they've made a lot of progress. I mean, they're going to rewrite the manual, so that's important. That's very important. And then we do need to recognize also in Concord, the landlords are once again trying to pull some BS and trying to have them water down and change the ordinances that they fought 7.5 years to get. So we want to, stay on top of that. We sent around a letter to sign to say that, keep things the way they are. And I know there's city council coming up too, where they may be having some things going on, but just keep in mind, Concord is trying to backtrack
again.
Yeah, they're trying to get them to backtrack again.
Yeah.
And it was hard to get there.
Yeah.
We attended a few of those meetings to advocate. And we mean for our people out there to know, once upon a time, landlords were raising their rent. It's happening in different places, and but here in our little corner of the county, Concord and Antioch passed 3 powerful policies to protect renters from these ridiculous rent increases. What's another one?
So that they passed, or
Yeah.
so the rent control with the 3% cap, because they want to change that, which absolutely not. It's set that way for a reason, because people were just charging you $300, $600, whatever they decided whenever they wanted. And then there's just cause for eviction, so you can't just evict people just because you choose to. And then I don't know if they have anti-harassment in Concord like we have in Antioch or not, but I know they have just cause, and I know they have rent control.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think they did the anti-harassment with the just cause for eviction. They had it, they did a few before ours. Like the last one that Antioch did was which one was it?
Just cause for
Just
Antioch.
cause.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that means is, like, let's say there's homeowners that, let's say there's a family living in a home for many, many years. A homeowner can't just say, hey, sorry, you got to leave in a month because my family wants to move in. That things like that, they're where they would have to instead, hey, we want you to move out, but we're gonna cover this many months of rent or the transportation and moving costs, because
to relocate.
yeah, so these are the goal. I mean, that's once upon a time there were folks in Antioch campaigning to get their town back, and I do believe strategically part of it was to systemically push people out.
Yeah.
And it's
So
pretty sad.
they get their town back.
Right. It's a thing. It's a thing. So people get out there, pay attention. There's some big fights. It is Black History Month, and it should be Black History every day. I read an article about a man and his wife who were sentenced to 15 years in 1965 for purchasing a home, to purchase it for a Black family. And so shout out to all of the folks that are Caucasian or just everyone that's coming together to fight for humanity. It's just crazy. But this is why we established the Police Oversight Commission, to have accountability over a police department that historically abused, brutalized, dehumanized, harassed, intimidated our community, murdered people in our community for many years, and it went unaccounted for. We'll still never know the gravity and the amount of families affected generationally too, systemically, how the police were weaponized in our school district by forms of restraining orders, which I believe that the angry parents, angry families felt what they felt and advocated for their children, but then became retaliated against with forms of and restraining orders. So yeah, it's a big thing. We're out here to continue talking about what's happening in our little corner of the county. And Gavin being our youth in the house. College student now, right?
Yep.
And working on many things like statewide policies on his free time, but also studying and doing great things.
And Carlos has something too.
Ooh,
Oh, the
Carlos.
flyer. Is it time for the flyer?
Yes.
All right. So we got March 15th. We have a peaceful protest. It says, don't let them silence your voice. It's March 15th, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., Concord, California, on the corner of Meadow Lane and Monument Boulevard. They're actually bringing free snacks and water. Whoever's going to come, they're asking, if somebody could donate waters and stuff too. I'm going to bring a couple of cases of water, but, we can never have enough waters and snacks. I'm sure we're going to march around out there too. They told me they got a mariachi band and we're working on some other entertainment as well to be out there. So if you guys mark your calendars, hopefully you guys can come and check that out. And we just lost Miss Patty.
Where'd you go?
Anyways, yeah. I'll post this on my Instagram later. I already shared it with another lady who had a protest in Concord as well. So she was excited, and then I gave her the old flyer. But this is the new one. Hi, welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Don't
Thank you.
forget to post it on your Facebook too.
So what was that?
I said don't forget to post it on your Facebook.
Oh yeah, it'll be in my story.
Be safe, and don't be afraid to be out there and do that. That's our right to peacefully protest, because there are families being broken apart. There's veterans that served the country in combat that got deported. There's some, I don't know.
That's just the craziest thing to me. But I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, look how we got treated, right, Gavin? We know about our history of went to war and fought and then came back and got treated like, nothing. So I don't see why, right? It would be any different. They don't care that they served in the military.
Yeah. Oh, Gavin, it's not. It's loaded. So whenever you want to show the flyer, I'm ready.
A good film that I watched. I think it's called The 6888.
Yes.
Netflix. I feel like everyone should watch that film right there because it is extremely powerful, not only for African Americans but for African American women's leading into from African American History Month into Women's History Month because they done so much and got still treated like crap. You should really look at the history of the 6888. Another good history, it's not a film, but it was a play, but a good history to look up on is the Port Chicago 50.
Yes.
That's local here.
Patty talks about that a lot.
We need to address those heroes.
There are, that's part of our history that it's just shameful that it took this long.
Hi, welcome.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Hello.
I just got through wrapping up Thug Therapy in Oakland with Mr. Fab and a group of men and a young lady, and so I had to come in. Thank y'all for having me on y'all show.
Thank you.
Thank you for squeezing us into your busy schedule. And as advocates, this is what we do, and we appreciate you and the fights that you're doing. And we're looking forward to learn about you, the work, past work, present work, future work. I told our panel here a little bit about you. You've been a guest before, but Zimbabwe here, he is a big lead and fighter for youth advocacy. So welcome back.
We'll have to have him come talk to our babies at PWC.
Yes, indeed. I'm on board. Y'all got me. It's all good. Y'all got it.
And pull up to the Youth Council, East County NAACP Youth Council. We're making some changes out here.
Yes.
I'm in for the fight. The change has got to happen, and the youth voice has got to be spoken and amplified for sure.
Well, we're gonna share a quick film.
Mhm.
It's a 2 minute and something, and then we can delve into some topics around everything. We want to gear it towards our youth. So school to prison pipeline, youth financial hardships, youth or childhood community trauma. So we can delve into, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself, Zimbabwe, and projects you have going on, or do you want us to share that 2 minute film real quick?
Oh, y'all can share the 2 minute film. I'll do my introduction afterwards.
Okay, sounds good.
Waiting on
Who's
you,
got?
Gavin. Yep. Gavin got to share it again.
Okay, hold
All
on.
right.
And while we was talking about favorite movies, The Harder They Fall on Netflix,
Mhm.
that was dope.
Mhm.
So strong language is advised. I'm letting you guys know ahead of time.
Mhm.
And that's also there's also a mental health trigger warning and some other trigger warnings as well. And please be mindful of that. Um, but here is police brutality.
I cannot believe it's gone. We're just gonna let that bastard walk away. So what can we do? Our system fucking us. I mean, fuck this country. Fuck this shit. We shouldn't testify. It's not gonna do anything.
Ray would have wanted us to testify. He always fought for people who looked like us, and you know if the outcome was different, he would testify, especially if one of us was in that car.
What good is that gonna do, Roman? It's these bullshitting, cock-sucking, drug-using, pussy, no backbone, fucked up, incest motherfuckers in power.
Look, we have to try and fight, okay? Because we are always fighting for other people, and now it's our turn to fight for us.
What about the family? They said if we speak up, it could cost us our safety and lives.
Or we can speak out, and people will stand with us. Royal, we can try and fight this, okay? This can go in our favor. The court can go in our favor. That racist motherfucker can and will rot.
Nah, fuck that. The system will never be in our favor as long as we have big lips, curly hair, darker skin, amber eyes. Remember, to them, we're just a bunch of monkeys and niggers.
And yet they never win. You remember what Mama told us? She said it does not matter what they call you, it's what you answer to. Love always wins over hate. We cannot pay them or their racist ass comments any mind because people are spiteful and malicious and hateful. No matter what, we have to call out what happened to Ray.
What about the police? What about the news? What about the media? What about everyone else?
They dragged you, me, and Ray out of that car. Your face was pushing to the pavement just like mine was. You heard Ray screaming and crying for help just like I did. And now there is a video out there that shows that they beat the life out of him.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. He was your brother.
He
was
us off?
my brother. And you want to sit up here and say it's not fucking worth it. Fuck you, Roy. You always been a fucking coward.
I'm not a coward.
Yes, you are. You are a fucking coward. You always want to give your opinion when nobody else asks for it. But the moment I need you, the moment Ray needs you, we have to testify. Not for you, not for me, but for Ray. Here we have the public's eye. We can use that to our advantage. Our family will be fine.
Public side my ass, bro. They're just gonna label us two angry black people, just like they label our black woman. You know, they love to call them fucking water buffaloes. Fucking water buffaloes, Roman.
Well, Madam C.J. Walker, Betty Shabazz, Coretta Scott King, Barack Obama, Wisdom O'Cole, Io Banjo, Rick Callender, if any of them had the same mindset that you do right now, where would we be today?
I don't have time for you and your history lesson today.
Well, I don't want him to just be another statistic or a face on a t-shirt. Do you?
No, of course
So
I
then
don't.
you know what we have to do then, right? Look, he just can't be another addition to the list of people who have lost their lives to those who call themselves protecting and serving.
I know, Roman.
You just can't.
I know.
We'll get through this. Okay? I got your back, just like you got mine.
I'm so fucking scared.
We'll get through this. We have to do this. Okay? Okay.
For Ray.
Thank you, Gavin.
That was so good. Like I just watched it for the first time again. That was really great.
And
That was powerful. So many emotions. So many
Mhm.
emotions in 2 minutes.
Mhm.
mhm. And so with that, definitely shout out to Gavin here that helped produce
Mhm.
and write that piece. So next week, Gavin will be bringing the crew, the production crew, film crew, to speak on this and another small piece. Gavin, do you want to tell us a little bit, real quick, before we learn and hear about Zimbabwe's background? You know, tell us about a little bit about this piece.
So a little bit about this piece. This was when I originally wrote this. It was during the height of the pandemic, and Breonna Taylor and George Floyd were murdered, and Breonna Taylor was murdered in her home in her sleep. And so I was like, I couldn't help but feel but just pain and agony. And one things that was like therapeutical for me, everyone was trying to find what ways were therapeutical. For me, it was just writing stories. And I kept like a lot of different of these types of stories in like my back pocket. And I was doing it for a writing assignment one day for class because I was like, okay, I'm gonna just use this as a writing assignment. I didn't think nothing of it. My writing teacher wanted me to pursue it in um, when I actually made it into a film. I didn't know that my peers were crying when they saw the film put together, and I didn't know it would have the impact it did on other people. Like I got one honorable mention from all the way from a film festival, a Black LGBT film festival in Atlanta, and they gave me an honorable mention. So I'm completely grateful for that. I'm grateful for my peers, my colleagues that I hope they're watching at home. I love them to death, still do. Would I absolutely do this film again? Absolutely, yes.
Mm.
The even some of the people I got selected in some films, but I didn't get to win. But it still had an impact here here in our local society. So I'm very happy here, and I'm glad that I got to address the issues that I wanted to address. Like for one of them, Miss Catherine Wade's son was also killed by the police, and the text message scandal. I wanted to honor both of those and recognize both of those. So that's why I had them say about the water buffaloes, because that was one of the things that attacked our African American women, and it was targeting toward her and targeting toward African American women. And for those who don't know, that our African Americans that are here, not only here but in other countries, they are queens. They are our queens.
Yeah.
And when you disrespect the queen, you get the king. So all my kings that are watching at home, when you see someone calling your queen or a queen calling them out the name, you need to speak up and say something, because let's be honest, the queen brought you into this world. A queen cooks, cleans for you. They they're your bus driver, the Uber driver, sometimes the therapist, the mama, the daddy, the grandparent, the auntie, sometimes the uncle, the caretaker, and the giver, sometimes the person to stay up late with you doing your homework, trying to make sure you can succeed. And ev- after every strong black man, there is a strong black woman behind him.
Mm.
And I don't want to ever hear someone else say that a black woman can't raise a man, because Tupac was good, one of them.
Hmm.
I'm one of them. I was raised by strong black women,
Yes.
and I feel that. And
Yes.
and know that didn't make me who I know that did not make me become gay. For some people that want to clarify that, I am me
Mhm.
because I am me. The women, no
Mhm.
one in my life to do that. What the women did that were strong, independent leaders in my life taught me to be a strong individual leader and be vocal and be unapologetically me, and do not ever apologize it, because I will never ever apologize for it. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Mic drop, Gavin.
Amen.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you, Gavin.
you
Thank you
should
so
have
much.
won.
Yeah. But
You
keep
should-
going, keep
Yeah, that's
going
right.
and creating. And Zimbabwe is a creator, designer, a healer of the community. Um, yeah. So we can segue into, the power of the youth and what is it that you do and that you've been doing. And I know there's a lot of um, bridges to be built
Hmm.
in our communities and with the programs that you've mentioned before about basketball with the police and um, as a foster youth advocate. I don't want to speak too much, on the amazing things that you do, Zimbabwe, but fill us in. Maybe inspire somebody out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. For the viewers, my name is Zimbabwe Davies. I am a filmmaker. I am a community organizer, a life coach, a motivational speaker. And just to give y'all some background about who I am, I grew up in West Oakland, and at the age of 13, I entered the foster care system. My mother passed away from kidney failure. And so like during that time, this was like the 90s. I lost my confidence. I had low self-esteem. I was placed in special education, and I moved from Oakland to Reno to stay with the aunt, and then moved back to Oakland the next couple of years later. And I got enrolled into a program called ILSP, Independent Living Skills Program, which helps teachers, which helps supports foster youth with being self-sufficient when they become adults. And so During that time, I got enrolled in that program. I was in group therapy. I had a great support system of mentors, and like the trajectory of my life began to change. I started to, you know, feel like I had something to live for. And so graduated from high school, from Emory High School, and I went to college in Long Beach at a fashion school called Brooks College School of Fashion Design and Merchandising. And I graduated from there and came back to Oakland. And one of the things I wanted to do, what my major was producing fashion shows. And so I was like, how do I produce a fashion show? Who do I connect with? And I had like all of the skills, but I just needed like the connections and the funding. And so I connected back with the program ILSP, and they said, we'll put up the funding and you produce the fashion show. So it was a successful fashion show. We had foster youth model, promote, and was a part of just the whole production. We raised about like $3,500 the first year. And the second year we raised $8,500. And from there, it was like everything took off for me. I became like a youth advocate, youth ambassador nationwide. I started advocating for foster youth rights and just youth in general. And then that just cascaded into me getting into the social welfare field and doing storytelling too. I want to give a shout out to Gavin for that amazing piece, because I got into film and storytelling just based on me growing up in the foster care system and also amplifying the voice of young people. And then even within that, the police brutality piece, I do have a movement initiative called Building Bridges Basketball, which is meant to help bridge the gap between community and law enforcement through basketball. And so 2018 was the first year the community, young adults, young adults, and some elder played with OPD. And so it caused a lot of like rifts within the community. But when the event happened, people were like, wow, the police, you know, all of them aren't bad. And we do know it's some horrible police out there. And we know it's good police out there. And the biggest thing is it's the system, right? It's the way the system's been structured and designed to create those type of the events where people experience police brutality. And so, yeah, so that's a brief introduction of the work that I do. And yeah.
That's amazing. That's a whole lot in one little, but man, the impact that you've had, I can only imagine, like even tonight with the thug therapy, you know, the thug therapy sessions is a huge part of the healing in our communities. And so, you know, if families or folks want to get into thug therapy, who can they follow to go into these sessions and start their healing process?
Most definitely. Thug Therapy, you can follow me at Z Davies Films on Instagram, ZDAVIES Films on Instagram, or you can follow Mr. Fab at Fabby Davis Jr. 1 on Instagram as well. He is the spearhead and he's the creator of Thug Therapy, and that's my cousin and brother. And when he first started, anything that he's a part of or starts, I'm on board. And so I became a facilitator, I want to say about a good 8 months in. And we just had an incredible group tonight. It's for men, it's for women, it's for children. And we have conversations around challenges that we have. And we also talk about tools and talk about solutions. And so we've had everyone from the kids to the elders to celebrities like Nick Cannon, 19 Keys. We've had people like Steph Curry support and do videos around Thug Therapy. And so we're picking up a lot of momentum, and we're going to break out nationwide and continue to do this work around mental wellness, because that's what Thug Therapy represents. And, you know, during these tumultuous times, everyone needs someone to talk to. And so this is a collective space where people get to come, be vulnerable. It's a safe space, and we get to support each other within this space. And so just to be a part of the Thug Therapy collective is incredible. I also want to give a shout out to my mentor, Sadiq, who's also a facilitator and a big part of Thug Therapy as well.
Yes, Kings on Kings on Kings. They came through and blessed us in the city of Antioch not too long ago. There was a collaborative event, and they came through and inspired many of the advocates and leaders in that space, and really just gave the current mayor a message of it's online, but it was just a powerful message of he's there to do a job, but there's work to do. And so, yeah, much love to Taco Tone that came through and cooked that day. And it was a whole community collaboration of folks that came through. And you know, your cousin and Sadiq, they came through and told us about this program. So we look forward to this happening nationwide, indeed, because that's part of changing the narrative, addressing just impacts of systems that have failed generations, but it's kings that are stepping up to this big space to bring through and empower many people. So yeah, God bless you all, and thank you for what you're doing, and keep going. And yeah, we'll look out for those sessions and any other work happening. Do y'all have any questions? Nicole, Gavin, any comments on for Zimbabwe here?
I know you guys came out to, I think you did the therapy in Antioch right at the water park last year.
Oh.
So I'm sure you guys are going to probably come back this way, hopefully, to do another session in Antioch or Pittsburgh.
Absolutely. I wasn't there during that time. I do remember the team was there, and we are definitely going to come back. I mean, our goal is to go city to city, state to state, and, you know, all of our communities, wherever you are, different names for our cities are impacted by mental health, and we all need to have support. Everyone needs to share their voice and feel comfortable in a space where they can be vulnerable and feel supported. And so we're definitely going to come back to Antioch and Pittsburgh for sure.
Good. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Much needed. So let's talk about some hardships, right? You covered you know, what the solution to the school to prison pipeline and building that bridge with the program. What about financial hardships? Because in schools, public school systems, there's not a lot of financial literacy that's taught, and it's nonprofits and churches that are stepping up to this. But yeah, what's out there? What's the potential solutions for financial hardships that youth face?
Well, I'm glad you right on the money with that one. I also started a nonprofit called Ground Level Upward, and this started last year. And so we're in the infancy stages, and we're getting funding. It's a financial literacy program that supports young people ages 12 through 21. And so we're working on the curriculum. We're going to have financial literacy classes, classes around leadership, workshops around leadership. And so that's definitely one avenue. And I know there's other avenues out there in regards to financial literacy. And I know there's other programs, but it's definitely a challenge because the things that are being taught in school should revolve around financial literacy and economic stability. And these are subject matters that need to be taught, because when you become an adult, you have to be able to sustain and be an adult and take care of yourself and pay bills. And we know where we are at currently in society right now with inflation, with you know, the cost of living and the wages not meeting the cost of living. And so these the financial literacy is very important for our young people to excel as they become adults.
Indeed, that would be great. You know, for our PWC, people who care, they're a nonprofit that help the youth. So that'd be a plug in to, hey, come on in one of these Wednesdays. We committed to teaching advocacy and leadership, similar, and just being in that space with this youth. So, you know, let's keep going and empowering our people, and that's amazing. You know, there's so many different corners to cover that as long as we keep going and keep spreading the messages of awareness and what's out there, it'll help the youth, set them up for success. Because, you know, credit scores matter, tax filings, savings accounts, investments. It goes on and on. And then our youth here, Gavin, you know, it's hard being a student and then taking on the student loans and paying it back, and how stressful that can be. How's that going, Gavin? I know you shared that with me the other day. And
Yeah, it's kind of like hard when you're like an African American male and you don't have all the resources like we should, like other people do. And but here's tools that have helped me, because I'm not going to sit and like be like, oh, it's me in the struggle. This is what helped me. During high school, my mom put me into a finance class and a budgeting class, so I can handle finances, my budgeting, and my spending. Because if I didn't have taken that class, I would be so lost. I have applied that to financial aid, to where I'm gonna spend for groceries, to what I'm about to eat, and also when you're when you're doing your bills and stuff like that, it goes part of that. Your job may, if you're like a finance person, or let's say you're in a production, and you're a producer, you have to learn your budgeting classes, and that was one of the things that took. And I was able to understand what the teacher was talking about because I took that class.
Okay.
That's the best way to one of them know. And if you don't know something, feel free to look it up or ask somebody. And,
Okay.
and it's never too late for for any person to take a finance class or budgeting class. You should be at any age going to LMC or going to a college that can, you can ask them for these classes. But if you do them in a high school or middle school, they count for college and they up your GPA. That's what they don't tell you. When you take college.
Okay, Gavin, thank you. Yeah, so look out for these amazing, just they're out there. It's just making them more available, and plugging it into public schools and normalizing talking about law and financial literacy. Question for you, Zimbabwe. What inspired you to you're like, I'm going to set out to do this? How did you, like, for your calling, what inspired you to go out and do what you do at the capacity that you do?
I think getting my second chance, right? Like, I went from losing hope in life. Like, when I was in the foster care system, I almost wanted to give up. I pretty much wanted to give up on life. And with the support of my auntie, my cousin, my mentors, the ILSP program, it gave me like a breath of fresh air. And when I graduated from high school and was able to graduate from college, I told myself, like, I got my second chance and I'm successful. Now let me do this for other people. And it just illuminated my spirit, right? I'm like, wow, like, anything is possible. I got to see anything is possible. I got to, you know, experience going to college in Long Beach and living in LA, and then producing my first fashion show at 20 years old. And so, like, those experiences taught me, like, you can do anything. You can do anything, and you can do it scared. You can do it without, you know, having all of the knowledge. Just go out and take the risk. And just knowing my stock and where I came from, how my mother and father raised me in West Oakland, it wasn't ever guaranteed that I was going to make it out. And so for me to make it out and become a success story, I'm sorry, this light's going out.
It's okay.
Become a success story, and to be a representative of Oakland and the Bay Area, I just told myself I can do anything. Like, just, you know, a lot of my friends, they lost their life to violence or they went to jail, and some of my other friends, they just didn't have the funds to go to college, and everybody's situation was different. And so for me, having that second chance, having other people pour into me, it made me want to pour into other people. And it became more than just about me. It became about my calling, my purpose, and inspiring the world.
Beautiful
That's
story.
beautiful.
Yeah. Him and Dr. Wright need to connect too. They have-
Yes.
he's
Yes.
right. Bridge
Building bridges, the bridge builders. Yes.
Mhm.
We will connect. Indeed, because there's a small group, Bridge to Builders, Shaman Wright, Dr. Wright, and then my brothers that I went to middle school with and high school with, they're mentoring the youth. They are such a plug into the youth in our little city of Antioch that they started in small spaces. Now they're in, I believe, all the schools, middle schools and high schools,
Mhm.
and they're a safe space. Pittsburgh too, yes. And they've been doing it, and they have faced a little bit of pushback with the existing, but doesn't matter. They're still going, and they're having a positive impact on the youth. Because when youth see folks that like they can identify with, someone that looks kind of young, or we're a little bit similar, our style, our shoes, so they are like kings in this space. And so yeah, they had their first Bridge to Builders founders dinner, their annual dinner, 2024. So there'll be another one 2025. We'll make sure to get you the info there and get you guys connected well before then, in these healing spaces and empowering spaces for our youth, because our youth is our future. And then we're organizers too. Gavin here has pushed hard for some policies. Do you want to share some policies that we should look out for, Gavin, that are statewide that you're working on?
Yes, one will be for housing, and that one we're definitely pushing for. We're also pushing for youth to be in these political spaces and these other spaces that hold power and weight to them, because there's these bunches of these commissions and committees, subcommittees, and things that youth can apply for that are supposed to be for our high school and junior high students that want to get their good on their college resume or on their job resume, but they can't because they don't have those tools, because they're not being told that they can be applied to this. These are resources for youth. We need to get our youth to be like, hey, look, you are here. Yes, you can study and do this. Yes, you can do all this, but let's be clear. You working at Starbucks, Chili's, or etc. is not the only option you have. There's other options out there as well. You don't have to just have to work here or go in the military or the army. No, there's so much more youth can do that we're not even aware of, and that I wasn't even aware of, because if I had known about some of these things, I would have applied when I was in high school, but I didn't know that I could have done these certain things, and that youth have much more rights than people think they do. But now they're trying to steal the rights because they're trying to take away your reading, they're trying to take away your right to vote. And let's be clear, youth are the power to the movement, because after almost every single movement that happened in this country was started and led by, or was backbone by, youth.
Indeed, indeed. Well, we have 6 minutes left. Zimbabwe, I know you had a long evening. I don't want to hold you up. Thank you so much for hanging out and dropping some knowledge and sharing with us more about you and the work that you do.
It's all good. You definitely not holding me up. My days, like, I live for stuff like this. And for you, Patty, you already know I'm coming through for you. That's hands down. And so I live for this. This is my life now. And it started with a lot of challenges, and the fact that I get a chance to advocate for young people, adults. The fact that I get a chance to be a filmmaker and tell the untold stories and tell stories to change people's perspectives and mindsets is pretty amazing. It's a gift. I don't take it for granted. And so to be in this space, I'm here for the last few minutes that we're here. You're definitely not holding me up. And I'll
All
definitely
right.
be a reoccurring guest on on this show for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. And you know what? Something for our community to know, we have guaranteed basic income coming up. We fought for that. We organized for that. We shared, we spoke, and we got it. So what's the impact of this potential that's coming out? It's coming to Contra Costa County, right? We did that.
We did. But yeah, we definitely have to get Zimbabwe to come meet with our youth that we're working with. So when you have a free Wednesday, I mean, I'm sure you don't ever have free time, but when you have a moment to spare to come on out here to hang out with us for a couple of hours.
I'll definitely pencil something in my calendar for sure. Like, you know, it's all good. I'm always going to be connected to the young people and always speak to the young people because someone spoke to me and people spoke to me and ignited my spirit and put me in the position I'm in today. So I could never turn my back on the youth or act like I'm too good or act like my schedule was too busy. So please know that.
Thank you. Leadership be like, advocacy be like, this is what it is, and this is what we're going to keep talking about. You know, for our communities out there, leaders out there, don't be afraid to speak up and speak out. We are putting ourselves, this is a vulnerable space because we're live, we're sharing our personal stories, the work we do, but at the end of the day, we're hoping to impact and inspire others out there to fight for others, for those that don't have a voice or they haven't, you know what, we all have a voice, but to get over that, take that step to use it and not be afraid of being judged, not being afraid of being minimized or, you know, we crossed over that. We're going to keep crossing over that and letting our communities know that we're going to keep talking about the work that we're doing and the work that needs to happen because that's how change happens. Yes. Any last thoughts? Thank you again, Zimbabwe, for, you know, blessing us with your presence. Keep doing what you do. We love you. And the work that Mr. Fab and the Thug Therapies, man, like Bay Area, we're different out here.
Yep. That's right.
Thank y'all. I love y'all too, and thank y'all for having me. And I just want to say, let's keep the work going. This is impactful. The consistency and in our spirits, like this work is in our spirits, and all we have to do is continue to ignite the people's spirits and the individuals who come behind us and who are with us.
Yeah.
Indeed. And youth, Gavin, keep going. NAACP president. Okay. We're right behind you. You inspire us since the day that we met you and how you found your voice. And Don Carlos, thank you, Don Carlos, for making this possible.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You ready for the fire, Gavin?
Yeah. Look,
right,
it was possible because I have you guys as my village.
Yeah.
And of the village,
we a
come
family
out and support all of us because we are all family. Contra Costa story has wings too. Black history. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how they used to use Highway 4 as a segregation line and Antioch used to be a sundown town. We're going to address those things because they do need to be addressed. We're going to address the fact that we have African American leaders that been here making change, and they were youth as well, making the change and differences, not only for then, but to now and for tomorrow. What they have done has not only opened the doors for people like us to be in these spaces, but for us to even open more doors and windows that we didn't even know that was even closed.
All right.
And I want to give a quick shout out to all the amazing women that have raised African American men. And I do have to give a shout out to a couple of women out here that have been doing the work, especially when it comes to raising African American men. Um, Dr. Kimberly Payton and Miss Frances Green. You guys have both raised some amazing African American males, me and my big brother Jeffrey included. Uh,
Mhm.
Miss Nicole Arrington, my auntie, she's I didn't know I needed more growing up, but she has helped me. um, and all my aunties out there. Also, Miss Lavette, you're doing an amazing job out here in the community. Miss Dominique King, you have two beautiful, amazing girls. And also, I want to just give a quick shout out to Miss Simone Delk, that is also doing well, raising a lovely, smart, young granddaughter that she's raised into a woman. And I also
Mm-hmm.
want to shout out to Miss Camilla.
Mm-hmm. And Miss Tashina out there, we'll raise her name again in her healing, and we're going to continue praying for her and her spirits because we have a lot of fight left. She's a fighter.
Mhm.
So let's raise her.
Yeah, and Miss Patty, you,
Yes, don't forget about my
you
pet.
we have to talk. I wanted to save the best for last, Miss Patty, because you changed all of our lives. Okay,
Yeah.
she's gotten us all together, and anytime that we needed someone to give us a smile, it was Patty.
Mhm.
Mhm.
She always smiles through a storm, even when we feel like getting mad and probably just want to yell at the dais sometimes. But she's came and like, okay, we're gonna put a smile on it. And one thing about Patty, she's gonna call you out, but she's gonna
Mhm.
smile while doing it.
Mhm. She
Love
got the
Patty.
best attitude ever. She come with all her
Oh,
and she check you, but she got the best attitude ever.
Yeah.
I love y'all.
Love you too.
Love y'all. Yeah. Don Carlos, the what? The wise
Group hug.
Group
group hug.
hug.
Yes, and thank you to Z again. I know he hopped off, but he stayed with us for a minute, and he's doing a lot of great things. And we just got to keep connecting as communities, because it's the people doing the work. It's the
Mhm.
people. Um, but yes, thank you all. Nice seeing you all. Always. Um, till next time. What do we have next week, Evan? We're gonna have your film crew, production crew. I do have to get going, but that's something that we look forward to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Those amazing actors, because they did a great job.
Yeah.
Great
it was-
job. Like
Mhm.
that was really screen worthy. Like it should have. I don't know why it didn't win. I don't know how it didn't win. Should have won. You should
Thank
keep submitting it to places because it should have won.
Mhm.
I agree.
Indeed.
So looking forward to next week.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully all you guys come back. And if you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe. That helps us out. It sets off the algorithm and it'll share it. YouTube will share it with more people out there. So you'll be doing us a favor. Also, we'll be back next week. What 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time,
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday. So we'll have Gavin and the crew, right? The of that short film.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
I'll
awesome. I
follow up,
can't wait.
ask them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to follow up with them and ask them if they want to.
Okay.
I'm inviting them to be on here. Some of them may be a little camera shy, but they know I love them. I'm gonna just bring them on. I said, look, if I eat, y'all going to eat. So trust and believe. My people will always have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure my people eat.
All right.
Community, family, crew, whoever. I don't care who you are. You will always have a seat at my table.
For
Mhm.
sure. So
Okay.
tune in next week, everybody. And
Good night.
good night.
Good night.